Hey there, and welcome to my day 33 doing the Camino on my treadmill. Following BK Lee from Korea. Shout out there to BK Lee, doing a great job. He's starting his day 8 from Logroño to Azofra. I walked from Logroño to Nájera, I think it was called. Sounds horrible, and I didn't have a great time there, but that doesn't mean it's a horrible place, right? Just get the mic closer. So anyway, you're all wondering, did I meet Giulia from Roma in Logroño? I underestimated the size of Logroño, and I searched for her high and low. That sounds weird. No, but I was with a woman from Amsterdam. What was her name? I was going to research that, but I didn't. So, and there was a sort of central area where lots of people were eating outside, and I thought I'd see her there. I never did. Sorry for the damp squib. And then, I should have just got her number in wherever I met her outside Los Arcos. But that's the thing. I wasn't really... I think it's just this big thing I invented in my head. I was just on the Camino. I wasn't thinking about anything romantic. I met her and her friend. Oh, we bonded over a kitten. That's always a good start. And then it's just, of course, after a few kilometers, I left them for a coffee. And she just seemed disappointed that I was going. So then I started building that into a story. Oh, yeah. Well, she was nice, but I wasn't thinking romantically until she looked disappointed. And then I thought, I should have got her number. Oh, I'll probably see her in Logroño. BK's in this kind of shopping area, kind of covered, sort of archways. It's beautiful looking out to a square. Yeah, Logroño was nice, I think. I think there was a curfew in the hostel I was staying in. Anyway, then I got to Logroño and I didn't see her. And then I probably built it up into... Oh, is he putting on a mosquito net? Hardly. No, not at this time. He's pausing anyway. He's getting ready. He's under a covered area with these shops and looking at... he is putting on a mosquito net. No, he's not. I don't know what's going on. He keeps dangling this mesh in front of the camera, but just trying to confuse me. So then, when I didn't see her there, I thought, well, maybe I'll see her in the next place, which I walked in Nájera, met Mark on the way, Mark from New Zealand, nice guy. And now we're walking down a laneway here. It's really early in the morning, the sun isn't up. So then, the question is, maybe I'll meet Giulia from Roma in Nájera. That's not a story for the grandkids. Oh, we met in a place called Nájera. I just remembered there was a smell of kind of rotting meat there or something. And maybe it was just something to do with that particular time, I don't know. And I have a bad sense of smell, so... But, yeah, I'll tell you about the experience in Nájera when we get there. It was quite humorous. Kind of Faulty Towers type experience, maybe. And, but I met other people who had a great experience too, so... Yeah. It's a nice sunny day here in Ireland. And it's 11 a.m. I'm inside on my treadmill with my sun lamp on. Let's take this top off. Steady. Ladies, enough of that. So, hold on a second. Get some water into me. So yesterday was Good Friday. That makes today Easter Saturday, I think they call it. And I normally don't drink on Good Friday. Not out of some major compulsion, just I like the tradition. It was the one day of the year our pubs were shut. People went nuts. It's like people pour drink down their gullets all year round. And then it's like, oh, major impingement on our civil rights that they close the pubs. Mind you, to be fair, I'm not for that closing. I'm not like church and state. Keep them separate as far as I'm concerned. But it's just interesting, you'd see Irish people buying crate loads of beer for parties on Thursday before Good Friday. Because God forbid they could, thought of going without drink, especially on a weekend. You must be joking. So we're a great crack all together, aren't we? When we got a belly full of drink. Anyway. The funny thing is, though, I ended up having a beer then in the afternoon because I forgot it was Good Friday. I'm off work. Like, I'd bought fish and everything. That's a Good Friday thing. And I'm not a holy Joe, but I think some traditions are good. Once we lose all those traditions, it's just consumerism that's left. Oh, and wellness, i.e. another form of consumerism. They've sort of got the whole beauty thing, the beauty racket, and I think someone was writing that recently and she said, they've made it into wellness, goop and whatever, the religion of goop. Did read an interesting article in New York Times about a woman talking about following all these, she was a columnist, I think, regular columnist, I think. Not Maureen Dowd or Michelle Goldberg, isn't that her name? Anyway, she was talking about, the religions of Instagram and all these life fixes and everything. But then she was just talking about her mother who went to church and did work for the church and helped the poor. This place looks familiar. Oh God, this is a beautiful square. Oh, those old European cities, like on the continent, you don't get that in Ireland. And not really in England either. I mean, I know London, they've got, St. Paul's and Westminster, but no. And what's that place? Norwich has old churches and things, but the continent, whole different ball game. Spain, especially Italy though, but some of these towns are, cities, beautiful. Oh. If I went back, I guess I wouldn't mind going back and just having a little holiday. Or else redoing the Camino with a bit more time on my hands. Thing is, you don't want too much time. It's like now when I don't have to do it. It's actually harder, in a way. Despite, I know I've got millions of listeners and I'm creaming in the money, but it feels kind of shallow, Just like I'm just doing this for the money. I just checked the time on my gold Rolex there and I thought, I don't feel so bad. After all, I'm sure when I'm driving my Lamborghini later, I'll certainly have a better quality of misery, whatever about anything else. But, where was I? My God, gone. Totally gone. Well, BK is following a pilgrim here, so just follow the pilgrim, that's what I say. The GPS doesn't seem to be serving him well. And I was talking about, let me turn my volume down, too much. I was talking about the continent, Norwich, old buildings. Oh, Good Friday. So yesterday afternoon, I guess I kind of thought, oh yeah, it's the weekend. There was a beer in the fridge. Let's have a can of beer in the afternoon. Let's go crazy. I knew I wouldn't be driving. And I was trying to avoid writing my book. Hey, we're talking Korean here. We're talking here. I'm not translating anymore. He just said, leave me alone, I'm in a bad mood. No, he didn't. God, you believe anything. Okay. Just past the newsstand. This is really early. There's traffic on the road. I guess it's early morning commuters. The sun isn't up. The street lights are on. The cyclist passed by. And here I am in Galway, Ireland. BK chatting away to his Korean friends. And what was I going to talk about? Oh, so I talked about Tinder before. I'm off that. I go on and off. But I was going to talk about Bumble. Well, not much. I matched with Elaine from Limerick. I won't say any more. I don't know if it's a real profile. All I know is I matched with her, and as you know, on Bumble, the women get to talk first. They have 24 hours to decide whether you meet their high standards of manhood. Just passed a man on the street who's collecting litter, I think. God, when I started in Logroño, they'd had a wine festival the night before, so the streets were quite messy, and there were some young guys, kind of still drunk, I think, but I mean, it was nothing compared to an average weekend in Ireland. And as to Paddy's Day, St. Patrick's Day, it was, I mean, that's like Apocalypse Now or something, you know. That's how we celebrate our nationhood. I'm turning into such a prude. Both my sister and my colleague Kieran from work predicted yesterday that I would end up phoning into the Joe Duffy show, which is a show in Ireland where people complain about things. Kind of spooky that they both made the same prediction on the same day. I don't think so. I'm going to prove them wrong by never doing it. Anytime I feel the urge, I'll just hold my tongue and go, no, I'm not going to give them the pleasure of becoming that guy. I remember hearing a guy on Joe Duffy. Liveline is the name of the show. It used to be presented by the late great Marion Finucane. Hats off, a great of Irish broadcasting. Up there with Gay Byrne. Mike Murphy's another great, still alive. Doing a podcast at the moment. I must listen to it. He's a great broadcaster too. I just remember from my childhood we all loved Mike Murphy. Liveline though. The Liveline is open. Call Joe on the Liveline. So a guy phoned in anyway. Was this during Marion's era, or I think it was during Joe's era, but he was bemoaning the hijacking of the word gay by, this was in the 2000s I think, or 90s, it was in the 2000s I think, by the gay community, well, by the homosexual community. You know, he was saying the word gay means happy. And I'm like, God, he took his time. I mean, it had been, co-opted a long time ago. Suddenly he decides to phone in Joe about it. But he was saying, hi, Joe. Joe, I am a gay straight man, Joe. I am a gay straight man. Kept repeating that. i.e., I'm a happy straight man. He didn't sound that gay to me, in the happy sense of the word. So, anyway, my sister and Kieran, my once esteemed colleague, not so sure anymore about esteemed, both think that's where I'm headed. Just because I was having a moan about the way on Good Friday, we just pour more crap down our throats. And sometimes I get worked up over stuff like that, then I laugh at myself. So, you see, I've got self-awareness, right? It's not a Holy Joe thing, it's just, in my estimation, it's an anti-consumerist thing. So if the churches all go, there was actually an article in the Irish Times about it, and in The Guardian, both within the last week, about sort of post-Christian society. I emailed the Guardian article to my friend Declan, who also did the Camino. I thought I got a response from him, but no, he's responded to something else. Oh, I was telling him to sell all his shares because I'm quitting the film business. He said he heard there was a crisis, all right. Yeah, it's... I'm causing I'm shaking the foundations of the Irish film and television industry to its core. I'm still in the business as an editor, but just creatively I'm now trading as a writer of books. I better finish that first novel. I was thinking today about my the young adult trilogy that I had been working on and abandoned, but I will come back to. It seems to be getting clearer in my head now. I just needed to walk away from it. It was too complex. Oh, you're asking about Elaine from Limerick. Okay, we'll get back to that in a second. BK's having a great old chat here, isn't he? I don't know. Well, I do know what they're on about, but for the sake of privacy, I won't translate. Even though he's broadcasted on YouTube, so... Anyway, Elaine from Limerick. What was I talking about just before that? Me quitting the film business. Oh, my Solaris trilogy. Yeah, it just got too complex, and now when I think about it, it's becoming simpler in my head, so I imagine I'll revisit that. I heard a woman on Radio 4 talking about writing illustrated kids' books, and I just thought, wow, that sounds great. I think YA maybe, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, maybe I'll be everything. YA, heavy literature, Booker Prize winner. Yeah, whatever. Let's just finish the first book, James, okay? Okay, some more water and then on to Elaine from Limerick. So I matched with her on Bumble. Bumble only allowed the women to speak first. Apparently it's a feminist thing. The women get to ignore the men first, which is usually what happens. But no, she talked within the first 24 hours. Otherwise, if she didn't, I would have lost the connection. I'd be devastated. To be up there with Julia from Roma. So anyway, I was thinking the only market for this podcast is something to go to sleep to. You know those sleep tools? Yeah, maybe I should market it as that. Most of it I'm speaking calmly, although sometimes when I get bored I start shouting and saying, he's got a gun, he's got a gun. But it could actually work, you know. We'll see. Okay. What am I looking up? Bumble. Here we go. Bumble. No more matches. Elaine from Limerick. And so she matches with me, and I just had a feeling it was a spam profile. I know Tinder is flooded with them. Bumble, not so much. So then, eventually, she breaks the ice with a GIF, right? An animated picture. Video of a guy, red-headed guy, young guy, let's just zoom in here, waving He's just... What's his t-shirt say? Is it from a famous film? It probably is. It reminds me of Napoleon Dynamite or something, but it's not. It's, in fact, totally different. I don't know why it reminds me. So he's waving. Can't read his t-shirt. Okay. So, obviously, translation, hello. Fair enough. Then followed, shortly afterwards, 10 minutes later, by another gif of a woman opening curtains and the bright light shines through. Hey, Elaine, if you're listening, you're famous, because I'm actually advertising my podcast on Bumble. Oh, I was advertising it on Tinder. Now I'm annoyed with myself for deleting the... I deleted the Tinder account. I just got bored with it. And it felt like it was mainly spam anyway, so at that stage. Anyway, so first GIF, what guy waves hello. Second GIF, woman opens curtains. Blinding light comes in, she immediately falls back. What's that meant to mean? I don't know. Third one, some animation. Could be the Lion King, I don't know. It's two feline type creatures and they're dancing around and it says it's Friday. So let me kind of translate all that. So she's saying hello, and maybe like the opening the curtains is like, you know, lockdown. We're all locked down. You open the curtains and suddenly you're blinded by the light. And then the third one, it's Friday, which is a good reminder. I should have got back. Yes, it's Good Friday. I hope you're eating fish and not drinking alcohol as I sipped my cold beer. So, you know, I'll get back to her and tell her that, hey, I mentioned you in my podcast, because then she can listen and see did I get it right. So, hello, Elaine. I won't say your age. Younger than me. That wouldn't be hard, eh? And Elaine from Limerick. You look nice, and not sure if you speak English, but you're a good conversationalist. We could just meet and show each other pictures or something. Anyway, we'll see. To be continued. This could become the major topic of my Camino, who knows? Who will play us in the movie? I would be played, we've talked about this before, haven't we? I'm going to be the dude from La La Land. What's his name? Not Bradley Cooper, the other guy. I keep mixing the names up. It's Ryan Reynolds, is that his name? Or is that someone else? I haven't a clue. You know that, not Ryan. What? Ryan Gosling. Duh. I remember something. It just reminded me of an anecdote that's kind of rude. I'm wondering, should I just select the explicit box on my podcast? Because I know I've already let one swear word slip through that I couldn't find again. Then I was talking about the topic of men sending pictures of a certain part of their anatomy to women, but I was kept it discreet. But then every so often, I feel like telling a story that involves a swear word. And I had my character in my book, he's an Irish guy in London. I had him not swearing. And it's that kind of thing of, well, I've experienced this. If you're Irish middle-class people swear more than English middle-class people, to the best of my knowledge. That's my observation. Yeah, I don't think I could knock a PhD thesis out of that one. I think that's would be most people's conclusion. So let's get the fan going here on low. So I had my character not swearing. And then I had him not swearing in the narration, which is kind of strange, but it felt right at the time. It was a good limitation, though. It's like if you broadcast swearing or you write it down, it sort of magnifies or something. So anyway, the character ends up in Ireland, and certainly there's other characters swearing. I'm pretty sure I've had him swear at least once or twice in the narration. I'm like, it's the first draft, I'm not judging it anymore. It started to become too strained, the not swearing thing. And there was something about it. As soon as he got back to Ireland, he just started narrating in a more Irish way. And because I set out to write sort of, my patriotic friends will lynch me for this, a sort of English type book, like, what's his name? David Nichols. I don't know, I read all his books and I like that type of book. I mean, I'd read also a book by Emma Jane Unsworth, so female voice, but there's that certain English, self-deprecating, slightly ironic, but not too ironic, with heartfelt stuff kind of going on under the surface, you know? And the voice is quite controlled, you know? So, of course, Nichols, mainly third person, isn't he? Well, One Day was, anyway, his most famous one. Forget about the movie. But I love the book. Some people are a bit snooty about it, but I love it. And, but I end up writing something different. I mean, but that's the way it is. I was saying it to my sister the other day, like, she's also writing at the moment, she's showing talent. I love the way I say that, as if I'm giving my seal of approval. I would say we both have talent. Being Irish, I won't go further than that. Oh, I'm not that good, really. Oh, stop it. I'm not that good. I'm awful. That's more like it. And then people say, no, you're not awful. Oh, but I am. Original sin. You never get away from the original sin of being awful. We might have dumped religion, but we haven't dumped. Original sin is still there knocking around, isn't it? Anyway, let's not get all theological here, eh? What, old chap? People walking by on the way to work. It's getting quiet now, getting quiet. We're walking through a park sort of thing. Would you call it a park? It's cemented. Coming to a bridge, like a bridge over troubled waters. I have to stop now for copyright reasons. Sorry to disappoint. So let's put no, I'm saving the fan. Damn it. Gone to high. Oh, shit, that's highest I can go. Low and high and off. Got the fan on high. And drying some clothes out in the line there. Put another wash on after this. See, if I put it on at the same time as a treadmill, I could actually trip a fuse. This treadmill is known to trip fuses. So if the thing is, if I take off, if I mark my stuff as explicit, oh, he's talking Korean again. He's saying, which way are we going? And she's saying, I don't know. You're the expert. You're the one with the GPS. And the camera, she's pointing this way. If I could see where the sun was, I'd know. The sun is more... I don't like this. Well, I can't see the sun, but I feel like looking at the sky, it's more to the left. Oh no, which is good, but is it slightly in front of them? Who cares? So, this looks familiar, but then all the cities have that kind of, these parks you walk through on the way out, I think. Yeah, I was walking here with, the woman from Amsterdam. Antoinette, in my head I'm calling her, but that's not her name. Marie Antoinette. So, And I remember crossing a bridge with her. But then maybe she went on further because I ended up meeting Mark and arriving in Nachar with Mark. Mark from New Zealand. So where were we? We've covered a lot of ground. This would be perfect for the going to sleep stories. I might try and market them that way. Maybe. Let's see. I don't want to put any more text on my logo because when it shows up as a thumbnail, it's quite small, you know. Camino on a Treadmill by James Finlan. Fall asleep to the dulcet tones of James Finlan. An Irishman as he walks the Camino. See, if I did it all in the stage Hollywood accent, Hollywood Irish accent, that would be better. Because I remember working on these American low-budget movies in Ireland. Then they revoiced the actors. They revoiced, they had Mia Farrow playing an Irish woman. They had the younger Mia Farrow played by a real Irish person, whom I know. Then they revoiced her with another actor doing the proper Irish accent, i.e. the wrong Irish accent. Bigosh and Bigara. They actually think they know an Irish accent better than us. So yeah, I'd have to do it in one of those fake Irish accents. I don't think I can even do it. I'll never get a job in Hollywood playing the romantic Irish love interest. I mean, I've got everything else going for me. Well, it could be a bit taller, but you know, platform shoes or something. Hey, Tom Cruise, they sort him out, don't they? You just cast him against smaller people. Then they have the other people walking in trenches. Mickey Spillane, who wrote... What did he write? Was that his name or the character's name? Anyway, he used to play the detective in some of his own works, and he would always cast people smaller than him. Of course, I'm out of the business now, so no more work for the small people. Sorry, folks. You're on your own now. I had such ambitions. And I realise now, kind of all, in terms of my own work, was over a long time ago. And I didn't realise it. Well, over in terms of the traditional Irish route of applying for funding and everything. Doesn't mean, if I ever return to it, it would be low budget. You know, shoot something in my house with just the camera, available light. You know, cheap and cheerful lighting setup and just something, an interesting script. But don't even have that anyway. No, I'm more interested in writing books. When you write a book, you're not constrained. You just make it whatever you want it to be. So, where are we? 33 minutes of walking. So yeah, I'm more than halfway through. Oh, I'll go up to 4.56. And fan on high. A bit more water here. This could be perfect for the going to sleep kind of thing. Podcast. I'll have to investigate that. Maybe, maybe not. No, because you're meant to speak slower and slower for those. Sometimes I get excited. That's not good. You'd be falling asleep and then I go, hey! Woo! Buen Camino! I start singing or something. I'll get fired by, I don't know, whoever finances the whole operation. So Elaine from Limerick, if you're still listening, send me another GIF animated picture. Or, I dare say, if you speak English, feel free to send a sentence. I'm a bit fussy about grammar, but I'll go easy on you. So, Julia from Rome. God knows where she was on this day, ahead of me somewhere. I'd say on her way to Azofra, but I walked just to Nahra, which was 25 kilometers. To be continued. So, walking through a park, the sun is coming up, it's filling the sky, can't quite tell where it is. I'm hoping it's, oh yeah, hold on, oh no, the shadows are from the lamps. God, I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. It's quite incredible how dumb I am. People are constantly amazed by it. So, anyway, hope you're falling asleep. Better look at my notes. So, where was I? Let's have a look at my notes. I might look at my diary again from, I still have Elaine from Limerick on my Bumble. It says you're using Bumble offline. No, I'm not. So I responded, by the way, hi. Always a good opener. I do online dating coaching. Hi. Can't beat a simple hi. Followed by, how's lockdown in Limerick? Now, for people listening to this 100 years hence, or aliens 1,000 years hence, lockdown, we have this COVID pandemic at the moment, this deadly virus, and people are locked down. So, are we even on lockdown anymore? Sometimes they announce another lockdown. I thought we were already on one. I don't know what's going on. My friend Dara in Paris, he's like, they've curfews every night. And they announced another lockdown there, but once again, I kind of thought they were already on it. They're much stricter there. Irish aren't great at taking rules. Then, of course, you have the anti-vaxxers and all that. Be interesting to see, I guess, when it's all done and dusted. There's two sides to the story, and lessons to be learned. But then, well, I was going to say the next pandemic will be 100 years from now, and they'll just make the same mistakes again, or different mistakes. But people are saying, no, there'll be more of these possibly in our lifetime. We'll see. I'm okay on my own. I don't have kids, that helps. So, sometimes I heard they were saying cats can catch it, but not spread it. But then I was imagine if they said the cats are spreading it, and they have a nationwide order to cull all the cats. I was like, oh my God, I would. Well, I was going to hide them in my attic, but I'd probably actually go out somewhere in the middle of nowhere and hide with them. It was almost turning into a fantasy in my head, like it was in a movie. But no, I wouldn't like that. Well, I guess what they would announce is they cannot go out. They have that in parts of Australia, or maybe all of Australia. And cats are notorious for killing wildlife. If they announced that, I could live with that. It'd be hard for the cats, though. I'd get one of those, those things that they can climb inside. I don't have one of those that they can get more exercise. But they've the best of both worlds at the moment. I think they have their freedom. They have a cat flap, which also, entails extra danger. But that's a trade-off I'm willing to take. Some people think imprisoning your cats is the best way. Each to their own. So if you live in the city, maybe you have no choice. God, I'm getting boring. Yeah, this is definitely a go-to-sleep podcast, I think. If I did it in 30-minute sections, no, but then there'd be just like 320 episodes. No, I need to do at least an hour, so I have 20 minutes to go. Okay, we're done with Elaine from Limerick for the moment. Thank you, Elaine. You can reply to me in Bumble if you want, if you exist. So let's look at, you're back online, it says. Okay, that's good. What am I looking for? I'm looking for, okay, my journal. So let's see, where are we? Logroño. Oh yeah, in Logroño, I share a room with Nicolina. Yes, that's the woman from. So it's not Marie Antoinette, it's Nicolina from Amsterdam. I tell her I was looking for Julia, the Italian woman. She says, and here you are with an old Dutch woman. She was funny. I liked her. Then I meet Saint Mark again, as I call him, Mark from New Zealand. Oh yeah, I meet him in Logroño. He helps me find a plug adapter shop for my phone. Then I meet Porrick from Galway again. I'd met him before. Oh, Mayo lose to Dublin by a point again. No, Julia. That's the end of that paragraph. My God. So, Mayo, last one. I made a documentary about this, and I still get mixed up in my dates. Wasn't it? They won 2 years in a row, and it was, I think, wasn't it 50 and 51, or was it 51 and 52? Imagine I don't know that, and I made a documentary about it. Anyway, I talked about that before, the curse on the Mayo team. But my dad was at the match the last time they won. And then they say there's a curse on them that the team disrespected a funeral in Foxford, County Mayo, when they were celebrating. And the priest put a curse on them that they would never win while the members of that team were alive. And they haven't won. And I think they're just down to one now. But I feel a little disrespectful talking about it. The rumour only started in the 90s anyway, so of course it's nonsense. I did an interview on radio to promote it. And for some local station in Waterford or something, the woman who interviewed me kept saying, oh, so tell me about this curse and all that. And I was saying, well, it's not true. That was my whole angle. And she just kept coming back to it. So when did the priest put the thing on them? And obviously, she'd made up her questions and she was sticking to them. It wasn't my best interview. When I did those interviews, I'd always try and get a footballer on with me who actually knows about sports. I'd try and get Anthony Larry Finnerty, who played with Mayo a few times. And one time, when they thought they'd won, he scored a goal and he missed a goal. Oh. God. It's hard for players living with that, and he's just coming so close, and the cup was there, they could see it. And anyway. So I was there since I made the documentary, and the year we made it, Mayo ended up in the final against Dublin, and, spoiler alert, lost. But since then, every time they get into a final, which has been a handful of times, I listen in, because we used to go, myself and Johnny, with whom I made it, we would go to be outside Croke Park in case they won. We've stopped doing that now, but if they won, maybe, well, of course, I've retired from the business. Well, maybe one of us could go anyway. We could put a happy ending on it. I feel like that'll be a whole new documentary with maybe some elements from the original one. Mayo would go nuts if they won. It'd be like Italian 90 all over again. It would be crazier, I think. But, so I'm listening that time. I can remember on my phone, I couldn't stream an image of it, I think, but I'm listening to him, streaming it on the radio on my phone. I missed the first half, I think. It was against Dublin, of course. I think Mayo came out strong in the first half. And then it just fell apart in the second half. But no, it was by a point again. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They've come so close. And there was one match where they had, was it 2 own goals or something, or an own goal anyway? And oh man. And then a draw followed by a replay where they lose by a point. Like, you can't get closer. And I know nothing about sport, but I know that much. So anyway, I'm there listening in Logroño, thinking, and as I say, I don't really go nuts for sport, but at that moment I was invested in it. I started saying a rosary that they'd win. Didn't work. Damn. Yeah, I know. I sound like a holy Joe. I guess I'm a little superstitious, but I'm also like, I don't ever want to live a life that is completely devoid of a sense of the spiritual and or the supernatural. By supernatural, I mean things beyond our understanding, because there are things that happen beyond our understanding, and they happen to people who would claim to be rationalists, but they're there all the time. For me, that's the beauty of life, the things we don't understand. And things we learn are interesting too, but they all keep pointing to the gap in the knowledge, especially when you go to the quantum level. So there, look how smart I am. I just used a word like quantum, and you're like, ooh, explain that to us. I'm like, no. Hashtag read a book. Hashtag educate yourself. I mean, I'm not just going to give away all my knowledge for free. I'll just take some more water here. Went down the wrong way. I mean, you want me to translate the Korean for you? You want me to explain quantum physics? Come on. This you're taking me for a ride here. What do you take me for, huh? Okay. I might get a Patreon link going, where you can sponsor me and you can ask specific questions and I'll answer them whilst on my treadmill. Yeah. I gotta monetize this podcast, Yeah. Anyway. So, that was the Mayo match. Porg from Galway. Mark from New Zealand. Nicoletta, was it? It's hard to read on a treadmill. Nicolina from Amsterdam. Oh, and we also met Paige again that night from... Anyone? Seattle. Oh, we're going under a tunnel. Lots of graffiti. Under a tunnel. White light at the end. White light. Will we make it? A puddle. Ooh, don't want to think too much about what's in that. And we're coming out to the white light. And once again, we're born again, cleansed of our sins. Here we go. Out into the light. I'm beginning to see the light. Velvet Underground song. Okay. Let's have a look. So, walk to Nakara with Mark. So, oh yeah. I just have a note about the guy we met in the hostel in Nakara. I touched on him a bit. I want to save him for when we were going through Nakara, but he was like, he only gave us one key between us. It's like we're not even, yeah, we walked together that day, but like, we might do different things that evening. But no, one key. And then he was saying, his English is really bad, and he just seemed to hate us. I mean, I guess he put up with a lot of crap from peregrinos, from pilgrims. Kind of like I've done some teaching, some lecturing, and, put up with some... You can be tested to your limits sometimes in that environment. So anyway, but he's there going, my restaurant, where is? And I'm like, we're looking at him going, I don't know where you... He repeated it 3 times. My restaurant, where is? I'm like, I don't bloody know, it's your restaurant, why are you asking me? He was trying to, what he really meant to say was, translation, Hello, gentlemen. I have a restaurant. And now I shall proceed to show you where it is. So anyway, he proceeded to show us where it was. Pizzeria behind the thing. Why would we go? He was so rude to us. No, one key. I just broke down and started laughing. He was shouting about, no, there's no fleas in my bed, and blah, blah, blah. Mark was just asking, was there a lower bunk available? And he, no fleas, or no, what do they call them? Bed bugs. No bugs, one key. I just broke down laughing. I was kind of exhausted and just started laughing in his face. I couldn't help it. I was just more at the situation than him, although he was a factor as well. And my restaurant, where is? We didn't go to his restaurant. So, and then no sign of Julia again in Nájera. Oops, I've told that bit too early. Maybe I did see her, maybe I didn't. Who knows? Okay, how are we doing time-wise? 9 minutes, okay. Can I talk for 9 minutes? Can I talk for 9 minutes? I'm getting a warning that the battery is low on my Bluetooth headphones. We can rectify that, I dare say. Not much to listen to except for the clickety-clack of the sticks. Ooh, that's quite poetic, James. Have you ever considered a career as a writer? Or a poet? The clickety-clack of the sticks. Yeah, I don't think that's that original. So, that's no more from my diary, but let's look at my Camino notes for interesting things to say, hey? Oh, man. When all is said and done, I'll make a book out of this, and I will maybe do a re-edit. Someone else can do the shorter versions. Well, that's notes for my novel, is it? I'm not giving you those. You can queue up and buy the book, my friend. Notes. Where are we? Okay. Vision Quest. Now, I'm not talking about that Bumble. Oh, Knausgaard. Oh, also, I came across a thing on YouTube, just, where they preview different things. It said, Jordan Peterson, the most terrifying IQ statistic. I didn't watch it. I'm not saying I haven't watched Jordan Peterson, but I didn't watch that anyway. But I'm like, the most terrifying IQ statistic. That doesn't even grab me. I can't even conceive of how I could be terrified by an IQ statistic. What's the most terrifying? We're all dumb as crap. Humans are dumber than cats. I mean, nothing would surprise me. So, I'm pretty sure all those guys, it's mainly guys, they put up Jordan Peterson stuff and it seems to me they misrepresent him. He's going to look at him, destroy a feminist. I was talking to a female. I know some women who, believe it or not, listen to him. She was saying, well, he's misrepresented by both sides, but then that's the time we live in. And I'm not getting any further into that debate. Interesting times we live in, though. But yeah, the most terrifying IQ statistic. Really, they're over-egging that title. I might actually listen just to find, if it's a long piece I won't, but just to find what it is. But really terrifying, come on. As I said, the worst thing is we're all dumber than cattle or something, which sounds totally believable to me. Or maybe it's about me. James Finlan is the dumbest person in the world. I'd be like, that's not terrifying, because I'm happy, so what's the problem? If being dumb makes you happy, then that's great. So I'm pretty relaxed about that particular thing. And now, what else? Did we have something else interesting to talk about? See, some days I've no notes. I just go from tangent to tangent, and I know you love it. I was going to talk about Samim, my friend, Palestinian friend in Russia. Glow. I keep saying I'll talk about Glow. All I can say is it's a great series. And I'm a bit jaded with the whole Netflix thing, but I think Glow was great. Lots of guys, certain guys say to me, oh, I wouldn't watch that. Oh, that's not for guys. Oh, that's a bit gay. Bit gay? Lots of beautiful women? Okay. But no, it's largely from a female perspective, mainly from the character Ruth, played by Alison Brie. She would be the main point of view, but you see all the different points of views, but then you also see Mark Maron. He's really revealed himself like a much better actor than I thought he would be, as the director of the wrestling shows, a former kind of failed horror film director. And there's a definite feminist agenda in it, but that doesn't make it, it's not hammering you on the head with it. There's an interesting Me Too moment, which is to see it through Ruth's point of view was quite shocking. You read about these things, but then when you see it, what unfolds, it's like, oh. I mean, she got out of there from what I remember, but just the situation that was being presented to her. And then it just showed, in that instance, her fellow female actor said shouted at her, said you should have done it. And then Mark, the director, Sam, bashed the guy's car up. I just thought it was interesting showing both sides. But there's some great stuff. Kate Nash is wonderful in it. Oh, and the guy she ends up getting together with, who may or may not be gay, I don't want to ruin everything, although that was hardly a major revelation, but he was a great character too. This rich kid who just loved wrestling had weird issues with his mom. What was his name again? Bash, wasn't it? Sam, but no. Anyway, Bash Howard. Anyway, love that show. You know, I don't really have much more to say about it. I think it's finished, is it? Oh, and the director. And I feel bad I don't know her name, but because I've mentioned this before, I'm bad on names. She directed a film that I loved called You, Me and Everyone We Know. But it came out at the same time as a Hollywood family movie with a similar name, but this was indie. Beautiful film. I mean, films like that just can't get financed anymore, I think. But she ended up directing episodes of Glow, and then last I heard she was dating Mark Maron, and then she got cancer and died really quickly. Oh, I feel so bad that I don't know her name, because I know I loved her, that film she made. Pretty sure it's called You, Me and Everyone We Know. So, you know, when you see something like that, a really kind of personal and intimate film, you feel like you know someone. And I feel disrespectful not knowing her name. It's just, I don't, directors of TV shows, I don't look at that. Nowadays, the directors, the auteurs are nearly all gone, It's like if you directed for Netflix, they're calling a lot of the shots. So. I guess it's slightly more about the writers, and in a way, I don't even know who the writers are. It's the characters I go for. But yeah, the auteurs are on the way out, unfortunately. But I was sad to hear that. Sad for him as well, God. Because I feel I know him from his podcasts. And I like his 2 Netflix shows. I discovered him on his podcast. Thought I wouldn't like him as a stand-up, but I certainly like. I think it's just his podcast has resurrected him. Imagine going from being a drug addict, all washed up, no one wants to touch you, to interviewing Barack Obama in your garage, as the Americans say. and then becoming an actor and reviving his stand-up career. Okay, I am done. Well, I'll just say one thing. I remember... No, I'll save it for tomorrow. Mark Moran, I'll just tell it quickly. He's at the Rolling Stones gig with his friend, and it's great and everything. But then they're doing the encore, and he turns to his friend, "Hey, you want to get moving now and beat the traffic?" And his friend says, yeah. So that's when you know you're getting old. Okay, so that's it. Buen Camino, over and out. See you tomorrow. Happy Easter.